Mr. Lynch, lives life forever. Good morning, Mr. Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, or 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 simply, David Lynch, and this is the last 6 days. That I showed you the 4, it means perhaps no means the practically the 9 79 years, because in fact exactly and 6 in the next 6 days it will be easy that but as long as you get much better me, Mr. Lynch said at the birth and so the 4 will become the 5 as the sum of 5 plus 5 practically the 10 and practically the 0 indicated. Ma yes, vediamo un'altra vedere Lynch, it's January 14, so really 14 days of January 2026, practically year 2026, and it's a Wednesday in Naples. Today, once again, no, once again, because yesterday was a mid sky, clear, the cloudy. It's also that standing toward the end of the day, I believe that it was totally cloudy until the end of the day, but then we had until the end of the day, after the time I was doing weather reports, we had beautiful blue skies, not beautiful blue skies, but more a clear day than a cloudy day, but today it seems once again totally cloudy. Yes, it's kind of to see in general. Yes, and at the moment, tutto seems so now it's early afternoon 13 and 34 minutes. 57 Fahrenheit 14 Celsius, and it means it's really cold, like in the fact cold is like usually for winter period support for years ago. Yes, we consider the fact that Chantal for years on last June 17, yes, we come for years weather reports, and also consider the fact that we overcome for years weather reports are last past summer, I think. Perhaps someone if they follow me, some I think body. Also fact we overcome fresh with the worst autumn now also for the winter we overcome them practically in 23 days ago, December 21, and to be precise 16 and 3 in Italy over 4 p.m. and 3. Yes, some memory when I think about it, more Chinese suppose indeed. I'm sure that I see the name amazing for me. So si ma proposta, in fact vi ho scelto mi aspettano per sparare oxygen tutto per me. La ride adesso lui intega lo precio. Also for the spring some the old fact for the spring so the adjective soft for the summer adjective for the autumn once again soft sometimes in general for this is period. Classic adjective and as you agree is triste for me was something something that absolutely incomplete. But no, this video because it's winter, it's cold, so in general should complain, but when I see a sentence absolutely incomplete, I'm referring what is referred to me, in particular perhaps over this video, the fact that I don't feel cold, but I feel cold less than other people, thanks to a series of practice, better to practice I followed since some years, since some years, through which I always started to fight cold. Welcome the winter period, so winter weather reports video. I will add a comment which I can explain what are the subrax, also in this case, and in this case, it's in the first part of a comment with an asterisk, so if someone is interested, this is the first part of the first comment with an asterisk, with this asterisk, so what are the subrax, I don't know, for some other people, and for in fact I think for no, not because I feel cold, for I think yes, for no, it's meant to them, but I think 90-95% I feel cold, whatever, in general, in some way for me, what's so good, no? Still, no matter what situation, way, I think I can say the same thing as just before. It's bad, or else it seems that can be some things in this. In the afternoon, I think at temperature 20 I repeat this just before, 57 Fahrenheit 14 Celsius, but important thing with atmosphere that ci vedi. Sto before 20 Niente, sì. Yes, se cortine sono lunghe, se cortine sono dipende sometimes shoes are most perfect. It's supposed in fact sometimes the Beatrice is sky and practically yes, say just for the opening. It is totally cloudy, not totally sure mostly, and considering then the last 2 weeks, according consider what I read, my sensations, I think it's most, yes, most sure that anche later in late afternoon, cosa più si salì di early afternoon, it became if not a bit, in general totally cloudy, non see darker, bleaker because it's mostly cloudy, however, you see only totally cloudy, and also that my tree, if not in a few moments, from late fact I think very close, let's see we see what happens. But as we said, we went on Giants Wizards, what's we see, it's coming today, here. Bad well, at the moment, c'era bad, maximum translate good. So series from medical one, you know what, curtain, you know, strong flowers mixed to balance, usually curtain since last number one. Remember one, Pangartings also birthday on the previous, particularly third birthday, previous curtain was a beautiful grey curtain, beautiful painted with branches, but people in the passage from fact the previous curtain, you know, do things later, remember, is in the comment section, and it should be the first, the third point, the first comment, the fourth comment, where one of them see, read the comment section, I don't know if you can really see it, not I see it well from the shot, maybe me, I think of yes. See the green flowers, angle flowers mixed with tiny plants. Or if not, even better, surely better is another shot by the first part of the video, which Veruccia showed you the weather scatter sia general from this mythical, this classical window, classical room, or this mythical window from this mythical room, because as you know there is also the other mythical in the other mythical room, the other mythical window. Or from a broader perspective, also from this other particular shot similar to classical short film more than go for the previous curtain bit and beautiful grey curtain with beautiful painted with branches, and perhaps also for the first curtain, all the story with the reporter, the color curtain, even if I don't remember exactly easy, but sure the color curtain is still in the cover image of the channel, so every time one day I should change it to and this shot, also easy, I was saying, as a shot also really the effect che può fare in risi, the shoot also in risi, but more in risi, because FX measure, as you the little speech sense also in case used for the previous curtain repeat, before recording the before paint of branches, also in case, perhaps also for the first tuning color curtain, also in case, and remember exactly this, and also in case now I'll see edit for this new curtain, sorry, but repeat special, also in case for first time, and this little speech sentence is this, but also and always better visible for me, needs entirety, here in this shot, at this point is mythical, legendary shot. As regards the children not activism, but not mistake, not activism is the first days of last October, but this is important too because important that also today it's not visible. Also now I'll see read little picture sentence for the curtain also for it because so valid also for it, so I repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me, it's entity, green is a shot at this point is a mythic or legendary shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard IGX 640 PG 625 also indication sprinkler generation. Eva, getting all the people of Florida and the process like reading the order. Also, my burning system. Also, myself, also Boschies. And finally, I hope you all have a great breakfast. Today it's late in general, also my hours, fact, when I say late, I mean for my hours, for my hours. As I'm repeating something since last days of this year, the year 2025, so practically since last December 31. From one yes, late for the in general and also for the record, but not for my hours at all because as I say, sometimes è kind of normale to me. make breakfast at this hour in this period, so not and yes, metà but more not. But all important is to see for Jago reaction sembrano si street was starting fucking breakfast finten sembriet. Stato it finten in parte mette fusi esteri. So finché tre record is record sembrano si street so Sergio. Or do repeat close the record. Later some as but sembrava not more repeat more not. Yes. They are just rolling up just in code 13 and 34 minutes. But the important thing is show remember that in some way also they for time to so I'm very young. And as we always say, breakfast sono most beautiful food. Absolutely. Since Manimansi Shul abbiamo mostrato maniera absolut maniera also lost the English effect of the X from a reason on Friday integration more than 3 weeks ago this Friday to will be a month integration and yes it was the fifth reason also with the reports and beautiful red black and also white slightly if upon comparison with the videos all things that perhaps someone one of the following on the Fridays with the report ma 10 should be done video prima si tutto one day or one time personalmente evitare c'è battere su battere per si detto c'è stato di sing things or middle is pitch and frisare shots bisogno si gioco io soprattutto come batto ostomania ma siamo su frisare biscuits sarà favorite fact tra me before come su biscuits and siesta finché torna mezzo fantastico starts biscuits chocolate chip cookies or cookies chip chocolate chips. Fino a tu mi si fatto bisco non si dice Matti in particolare la tua next le vuole essere da lei si fa what milk fax un shot sono che ti coffee così tu sei quel che gioco in fax sono tanti fan shot fragment videos la shot ed è in finale think 7 months as si che se le sto conosci mi stanno di pila sono da c'è per sapere cosa mai si quick si finisce nowadays once again brought it once again think un anno in 81 82 83 days sì che se lo sto conosci mi stanno di pila sono da c'è per sapere and so since we month of 3 iPad inserted it once again in the milk so very good news and we say also effect as a breakfast so questa pompa si aspira in particolare a me da una bomba e si che si last video c'è gioco so che basta in mania so of course I'm living the first time so that video and if in some also consider toll Nicholas breakfast so questa mega bomba second thing is about CS if Rarbio si sta da Conad Italian Sirians mi sa sempre position because attraverso questa position formidare da PAM the Italian PAM Dark Chocolate Chip Sirians e fa questa true come nel Matthew e Mangar Teams lettere Matthew because they are really super bad. Adesso il tumore suppose fa un perché non c'è tumore avuto quello di Leppen ma vuoi sì